Hey guys, Keith Groundsel here with Solid Renovations. Just have a simple cultured marble that needs to be cleaned because it has scratches in it. And the owners of this house did not want to replace this. So we want to do a little rubbing compound against it, a light sand of 1,000 grit, a wet sand, to try and remove some of these scratches. You can't see them in the camera. I know that there are chips and scratches throughout this, and this is an inexpensive way that you don't have to replace the countertops. And I want to show you the process. Some of the ingredients and some of the items or materials that you'll need in order to do this will be, I have some of this plastic wrap, so I can, in case anything splashes up when we're cleaning, we can wrap the paint and everything else in here, cover the floors. We already have them covered. Put some of this plastic wrap down. Some blue painter's tape is commonly used to put up against our line. We're going to use some mineral spirits. I prefer odorless mineral spirits because the other stuff's toxic in this small environment here. Turn on your ventilation fan for sure. Some terry cloths or some cotton t-shirts torn up are my preferred thing. You can buy them at Home Depot or Lowe's. I got a mini buffer, a car buffer. You can buy this at any auto parts store with extra terry cloth bonnet heads and microfiber bonnet heads as well, so you can applicate it. Use these applicator pads here as well. You can put your rubbing compound. It's a simple, this one's actually just made for a car or an RV. This is a rubbing compound. We're going to put it on here after we clean it with mineral spirits, allow it to dry, have everything taped off. We're going to apply some rubbing compound on it. Let it set, let it get a haze or a glaze over it. Then we're going to wipe that off, clean that off with these, and then buff it off. And then at the end, we'll put a polishing compound. This again is used for automobiles, but we're going to use it on here. So these are some of the ingredients that you need first and foremost, and I'm going to walk you through the entire process step by step. All right, guys, now that we got everything cleaned with mineral spirits, we've allowed it to dry, we've wiped it down. We did that twice. I didn't show that in the time-lapse video that you're about to see on here, or you already saw at this point. But make a note, prior to doing this, make sure you get all the caulking out that you want removed anywhere on any of the seams here for the backsplash, especially on some of these culture marble on the sides. You're not going to get all the scratches out at this point. Right now, you're just opening it up right now. So our next step from here is going to be applying a rough grade rubbing compound. Like I stated before, this is just this heavy duty rubbing compound made by Turtle Wax. I'm going to apply it here with the applicator pad, put it on. Allow it to dry enough to where it has like a glaze over it, like a white cloudy glaze. And then I'm going to wipe it off with clean towels. And I may do this once or twice. It just depends how it feels after I wipe it off. But you should test a small area first because you actually don't know how much it's going to penetrate. So make sure that you're not doing further damage by buying something that's too abrasive. But in this case right here, you can't see it, but if you look closely, there are scratches all over this. This has been in here for over 30 years. So we're trying to salvage it at this point. And there are some larger chips, I say large, but they're not really that massive, but there are some chips throughout this whole entire thing all over, especially inside the sink and on top here in the commonly used areas. So this is what I'm gonna try next. This is what you're gonna see on the video. All right, I just got done putting the rubbing compound on, and it's been about 5 minutes. You can see the haze. It's actually a clay color, so you can see the lines where it's rubbed in. I put it on light for the first coat. I may end up doing 2 coats, it just depends. But in between coats, after everything's clean, I can wet these countertops and use 1,000 grit sandpaper and wet sand it, kind of like you wet sand a car to get the imperfections out. So I may end up doing that. You see where it buried deep into this little spot right here where there was a chip. Another little chip here did the same thing. So those may take a little bit more elbow grease and a little bit more work. I'm anxious to see if this even works at all in here because I don't have any coloration. I'm just trying to clean this up, but I think that's so deep that there's really nothing I can do about it. And it may be recommended after all this that an epoxy finish may be better, but from a cost savings perspective, this is what the homeowner wanted and this is what we're going to do. Okay, so just wiped off the first coat of rubbing compound. You see a few spots here. This is a clay-like color, the rubbing compound. So that's where somebody had maybe previously scratched it up. I haven't put anything on it, any machinery, but that's like an orbital sander of some type of polishing that was done many years earlier. Those are the spots that stayed, would not wipe up. I'll get those cleaned up with a little bit of water and wet sanding with 1,000 grit sandpaper, but that's what we got. It really didn't do a whole lot to these cracks here. I didn't really expect it to. They're deep, so I really don't expect it to change. Homeowners didn't want to replace the faucet, pop-up valve, or anything like that, so we're following their request, although we try to get them to upgrade everything. But sometimes budgets don't allow that. All right, guys, next step now is we're going to do a little bit of wet sanding. I have 1,000 grit sandpaper here. You can do it dry or wet, but it's best if it's wet. I don't have a squirt bottle on me. I have a bottle of water. Most people have it on a job site or in their kitchen. So I just basically take a razor blade and take a little slit in it, put a little tiny X in the center. And I use this to squirt water. I don't want to just pour a ton of water down. So there's nothing special to it, basically. Just get a piece of the sandpaper. I like to fold it over a couple times so I can have some grip on top. Like that. For example, these spots right here, I'll just sprinkle a little bit on here. And you can cut the hole bigger or smaller. This is absolutely perfect for me. It's just a mist. You probably can't see it on the camera. So then you put it on there. Actually, the spots have already come out. I'm going to show you a little bit closer. So the first one was right there. Here's the spot right here. See this? I'm barely getting it. And right next to it is that chip. So I know it's penetrating it just deep enough. All these spots have already come out. So I'm just going to repeat this process. This is a tedious step, but a necessary one. I can go a little bit harder, but I'm trying to be even here so I don't leave any marks. But right here's a deep chip. I'll hit that, and then I'll go around it to level out the surface overall. The same thing with this one right here. It's probably the biggest one right here. It's still wet, which is good. You want it just wet enough. There's another one right here. It's starting to work it. I mean, it's definitely smoother. It's going to take multiple coats, but you can see it's coming up. So let me hit this, and then I'll show you once I clean it up what it looks like. All right, guys, so I added another step actually. After I did the rubbing compound, tried to clean it all up, I still felt like there was a little bit of that clay color inside of some of the crevices because it is a porous material once you sand it down, wet sand it down. So I used acetone, or not acetone, mineral spirits again, and basically cleaned it up. And I especially went into the areas where there are chips and it was deep. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to let this dry, then I'm going to get a damp cloth with water, and I'm just going to make sure I remove all of this off of there. Then I'm going to go ahead and go into my final polishing. Probably put at least 2 to 3 coats of polish wax, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, it's automotive stuff. And let's see what the finished product comes out as. I mean, these are 30-something years old. They're not perfect, but I can tell you they actually already look a lot better. Just getting rid of some of the minor imperfections. Some of the larger chips, it really didn't do that great of a job. Can maybe go a little heavier grip, but it's pretty much smooth. It's just on the top part, but it's a little deep in there. So they're not going to be perfect. It's getting this house up for sale. And then once we polish it and do all that, it'll be ready. I mean, some people like cultured marble. It lasts decades and decades. But most people now are moving, they move towards granite, and they're also now moving towards quartz, and obviously some other like marble and stuff like that is popular, but cultured marble is still out there, and it's durable. It'll last a long time. All right, I'm back in here. A couple of these spots, these holes did not fill up. So what I did is I have some super glue, and I actually filled the holes. I overfilled them intentionally. And I'm going to let this dry. I think there was one small one over here as well. See that little hole there? I don't know if you can even see it. It's right here. You can feel it. I just barely put a dot. Make sure it goes deep in it, over penetrates it. And if there's any more, I'll fill them. That's the biggest one right there. So we'll see how it comes out. All right, I think we're at the point now where we're gonna go ahead and apply some of our polish on here. Again, it's a polishing compound. It's a wax like you use on a car. And basically, this one's white, not the same color as the rubbing compound. So I'm going to use this buffer. This is a low-speed buffer, so it's kind of dummy-proof. It's not like some of the high-speed buffers that are out there. You can put a little bit on your terry cloth, your head, your bonnet, so it doesn't spray all over the place. And then just buff it in. And you'll do this multiple times. So it's just a process. You buff it, you let it dry for a minute, and then it hazes over. You'll see a white haze all over it. And then at that point, you'll come with a clean cloth and you wipe it off, and you'll repeat that process until you get the desired effect and sheen that you're looking for. If you have a spot that's tough, you can tilt it and get a little angle on it. But for the most part, this is not a high-speed buffer. So it's relatively easy. The high-speed buffers, you can actually tear this up and leave disc marks on it. Like you saw, I had to clean up a few spots in this process. So with these low-speed buffers that they sell at AutoZone and any auto place, basically, you're not going to mess it up. It's almost dummy-proof to tell you the truth. I mean, you'd have, I don't even think, if I sat here and just left it sitting there, it wouldn't do anything. Honestly, it doesn't have enough power, enough speed. It vibrates and rotates, and it doesn't rotate fast enough to create friction or any heat. So, if you've ever buffed a car, polished a car, or anything like that, then you can do this. It's not complicated. I'm not putting a ton of pressure either. Just put my first coat on. I might use my hand to get down in the sink. You can polish the fixtures, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to hurt them, put a little wax on them. Matter of fact, they're just going to shine even more. They're already pretty clean from what we've done so far. So at this point, we're just bringing the shine back. All right, the first coat of polish is dried. It's hard to tell, but there is a haze on it. You can tell on the faucet, obviously. That's what it looks like here. You can see clearly where I'm wiping off that line. But so now it's time to wipe it all off. So I take a clean cloth and I just wipe it off. That's it. It's very simple. I'll repeat this process all the way around. And once I get it clean, then I'll decide if it needs another coat, which I know I'm going to put 2 or 3 coats on here of polish. Alright guys, here's the finished product. This was a very old, 30-plus-year-old cultured marble. Now, inside the sink, where it's really bad, these are smooth now, but they didn't go away. Definitely recommend something like this that's in that bad a shape to put an epoxy coat over this whole entire thing after you strip it down. But all in all, it came out pretty good. The fixtures also got polished along the way because they were kind of rough looking. So a little bit more cleanup. And that's it. I hope this video helps someone. Please like and subscribe to Solid Renovations YouTube channel and check out our Facebook page as well.